A briefing from Facebook. They say it has to happen before March 1st. So some Facebook users may have had deeply personal health information shared. It is not entirely clear, but what was supposed to be closed groups. So it is not clear if some Facebook users had information shared about substance abuse, about HIV status, about a history of sexual assault. Not clear whether they faced harassment or discrimination at their jobs because of that. Lawmakers are seeking to answer that question, and as I said, Connell, demanding that Facebook brief them before March 1st. Southwest Airlines, rather, having a pretty tough weekend. It had to cancel more flights than any other U.S. carrier. Some have to do with contract negotiations with their mechanics union, and they've had to take some planes out of circulation. There's a separate issue, though, because the Trump administration also probing whether or not the airline miscalculated the weight of checked luggage on its flights. So Southwest Airlines says it's working with the FAA. Some inspectors say that inaccurate weight information could threaten safety in the event of engine failure or other issues. Carriers such as American and Delta, they use scanners to count luggage. Southwest uses its ground crew, but will soon go to a computerized system. And a goodbye to a fashion icon. Karl Lagerfeld passed away at the age of 85. He made his mark for decades at Chanel. He styled numerous stars and political figures, including the First Lady, Melania Trump, with exclusive designs for high-profile occasions. He was pretty philosophical about his legacy, saying that he willingly laughed at himself. And he said he was always his own best cartoon. So nice to see someone with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Always appreciated, Carl.
Right, one of the greats in that industry, no doubt about it. I could address some story about Facebook. We'll have to stay on top of that as well. In a moment, how the global 5G rollout that you hear so much about is actually sparking some new fears about spying from Huawei, the giant Chinese company. That when we come back here, Cavuto Coast to Coast. Don't go away.
Work, I had a bunch of entrepreneurs and kind of rugged individuals who said, I really want to perform better. I think I can learn something from you. You're training these SEALs. Can I come do it? And I said, well, I'm open to it as long as you don't let water down the standards and you don't mess things up for me. So I opened it up to civilians who were leaders and business people and even moms and dads who just wanted to be more focused, learn how to be a better parent, be a better leader. And so I wrote the book really for them, for people to be able to leverage how to think and lead like elite Navy SEAL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in knowing how your business background actually affect your SEAL training.
Well, I was actually in business before my SEAL training. I was a CPA here in New York. And interestingly enough, it was my deep work as a martial artist and getting into Zen meditation that helped me kind of do the inner discovery that I was meant to be a warrior and not a CPA. That process was transformative to me, and it led me into the correct path at an early age, so I didn't have some midlife crisis later on. When I got out of the Navy and I started teaching individuals, that became a real core tenet, that we want to use practices that really are common in the Eastern martial arts and warrior traditions, but aren't so common in America or the Western world, such as breath training for arousal control, mindfulness for concentration training and awareness, deepening our inner self. I call it winning in your mind before you step onto the battlefield. So essentially I brought that to my business to stay front sight focused, and then I brought it to my clients so they can stay focused and choose the right things at the right time and make good decisions in life.
For those of us who don't really know what the SEAL training is like, and how do they test your mental capability to help train you for some of the most harrowing situations?
Yeah, SEAL training is meant to be almost as realistic as combat. Of course, you can't simulate combat perfectly. It's arduous in terms of its duration. It's just relentless. 9 months long, 12, 15-hour days, just relentless. One of the most common, well-known weeks is called Hell Week. It's 6 days of non-stop training around the clock. The instructors are world-class at getting into your head. They're like master psychologists, trying to get into your head and find the weaknesses, and then they probe them and they poke you. And then the emotional part is really important too. So the SEALs probe and push for mental toughness and emotional resiliency. And if you can survive through the early stages of that, then you tend to become, really really strong and focused individual. They're now starting to actually train some of the techniques that I teach in the book, where they're training you how to teach yourself or how to practice, mental toughness as a skill, as opposed to just test you until you got it or you don't.
Mark Devine, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And to find out more, check out The Way of the SEAL. Think like an elite warrior to lead and succeed. Thanks for watching Fox Extra. I'm Lauren Green.